Area hunters had an encounter with nature they weren't expecting. Daily Iowan TV's Meredith Mulford brings us an exclusive interview with one of those affected.
The youngest of the crew, Kurt Kruger, was forced to put everything that he learned from wrestling, Eagle Scouts, and swimming lessons to the test. Wind brought a wave over the front end of the boat around 6 p.m., causing it to capsize. It could stably hold 2 on top, but this left Kruger among those in the water.
We had to swim to this row of willows here, and finally we had gotten to where we could touch, and we started running through the water, and a guy picked us up in a boat, and it was our guardian angel. God was really looking out for us that day.
God's gift came at a price. Hypothermia can set in after minutes in cold water. Kruger fought it for half an hour. As you can see, this area is prone to flooding. The night of the incident, the water was up to the bottom of this sign alone. However, that's never stopped Kurt Kruger in the past.
Kurt's really big into hunting. He wakes up every morning, like 5 a.m. He gets home from classes, he's mapping out like his routes on his computer. He'll skip out on partying and whatever so he can get sleep to wake up to go hunting.
Kruger's most memorable day hunting cost him $1,600 in lost equipment. However, he gained some valuable insight.
Take your destiny of whether you're going to live or, die out there and put it in your own hands. And rather than sitting in the water holding onto a boat, I would have much rather swam back where I know I can put my life in my own hands.
Meredith Mulford, Daily Iowan TV.
Kruger's guardian angel, Stephen Schultz, kept the spirit of giving alive by starting a fund at Shields to help replace Kruger's lost hunting gear.
For hunting enthusiasts across Iowa, tomorrow marks an important date, the first of our deer hunting season. Over 90,000 people are expected to head out to the fields tomorrow and another 50,000 after next week. Safety officials are reminding everyone that the majority of the deer hunting accidents that happen when people shoot at running deer. So hunters should wait until the deer have stopped to make sure no one is behind the target. And that means remembering to wear enough blaze orange.
Low attendance at Iowa women's basketball games isn't much to cheer about. Daily Iowan TV's Lauren Chase asks Hawk fans why the arena seems so empty.
With only an hour left before tip-off, Hawk fans slowly make their way to Carver.
And they don't have to push and shove each other to get the best spots.
This is the reality of Hawkeye women's basketball.
At a recent home game, the men saw more than 8,500 fans.
While the women saw this, a fourth of the fans the men had. The women's team may not bring as many fans to the arena as the men's team does, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to play just as well.
The women have won 5 out of their last 8 games, while the men have won 2 and lost 5.
So why can't the women pull in the same numbers as the guys?
Oh, well, they don't bring in as much money to the university as the guys do, but they're well worth coming down here and seeing.
I think because the girls don't dunk as much as the guys.
The girls' team's better, so it's kind of weird.
From last season, the Hawks are returning 2 starters, 44% of their scoring, and 56% of their rebounding. However, new leaders are emerging on the court, like freshman Jamie Prunty, who was the youngest player to verbally commit to Iowa.
So if Iowa fans want the arena to fill, they'll have to find several thousand more of them who believe the women have just as much game as the men. Lauren Chase, Daily Iowan TV.
The next women's home game is December 6th against Michigan. And December has come to be known as hiring and firing season for college coaches, and here's what this means for Iowa's Kirk Ferentz. The next home women's game is December 6th against Michigan.
So do you think Kirk Ferentz is going to take the job offer in Notre Dame?
I don't know, but I hope not. Let's ask our own Bill Delahan over in sports. Bill?
Thanks, guys. Well, December has come to be known as hiring and firing season for college football coaches, and here's what this means for Iowa's Kirk Ferentz.
For years now, Kirk Ferentz's name has come up whenever there's a high-profile coaching vacancy, either at the professional or collegiate level. This year is no different, as arguably the highest-profile head coaching job in college football became available in the past week when Notre Dame fired head coach Charlie Weis. College football pundits were quick to throw Ferentz's name into the hat as a possible replacement, along with Oklahoma head coach Bob Stoops and Cincinnati's head coach Brian Kelly, just to name a few. On Wednesday, when asked about whether he'd been contacted by Notre Dame, Ferentz had this to say.
First thing I'd say is that's Notre Dame's business. Nobody else's, as far as I'm concerned. What they choose to do is their business. And if they had or hadn't, I think it'd be inappropriate for me to comment on that.
Ferentz has been at Iowa for 11 seasons, making him Iowa's second longest tenured head coach. Ferentz didn't specifically turn down the job at Notre Dame, but he's mentioned in various interviews throughout the week that he and his family have grown to love the university and Iowa City. With a son on the football team and on the heels of what he's called one of his most fun seasons at Iowa, Hawk fans should count on seeing Ferentz on the sidelines in 2010. And on Wednesday at Coach Ferentz's press conference, the Hawkeye head man offered a few words of support for men's basketball coach Todd Licklider.
But, you just keep working. I think he's building a heck of a team and a heck of a program. I just hope everybody will, I know reporters got to write what they got to write, but I just hope everybody stays positive and stays with it, because it's going to be worth the investment. I really believe that.
The basketball team is currently 2-5, and after multiple defections last year, fans may be getting a bit restless. Nevertheless, Iowa squares off against Prairie View A&M tomorrow at Carver Hawkeye. Make sure to get out there and show your support. The top high school football player in the state will enroll early to the UI. Iowa City High's A.J. Derby will forgo his last semester of high school to join his future teammates for spring football practice. The 6'4", 218-pound quarterback chose Iowa over offers from Alabama, Florida, Michigan, and Nebraska, as well as a ton of others. Great news for Hawkeye fans. And today, it was announced that the U.S. will square off against England in the first round of the World Cup next summer in South Africa. America beat England the last time the teams met in the first round way back in 1950. The game will be held on July 12th. And finally, the University of Iowa Cricket Club is looking to field its first cricket team. Anyone with an itching to play some cricket is invited to attend the group's first event tomorrow at the Recreation Building behind Kinnick Stadium between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Food and drinks will be provided. And now here's your Iowa City weather forecast with Molly Burke. Take it away, Molly.
Thanks, Bill. Let's first take a look at your Saturday planner. It's going to be a really cold Saturday with a high at midnight only around 22 degrees, and by 6 a.m. it'll drop even lower to 17. By noon, it's going to go up just a little bit to 29 degrees, and by 6 p.m. it's going to be around 30. So it's going to be a cold Saturday day, so take out those jackets. And now let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. On into Sunday, it's going to remain partly cloudy with a high around 34 degrees and a low around 22. But by Monday, you may see some snow on the ground during your morning commute with a high of around 30 degrees and only a 30% chance of snow. By Tuesday, the snow chance is going to go up to 50% with a high around 31 degrees and a low around 24. And by Wednesday, that snow is just going to keep on coming with a high around 29 degrees, and it's going to dip into 20 degrees at night. But by Thursday, you may have a little bit of a break with a partly sunny day, 31 degrees, and a low at night with the late teens. So you may have a little bit of time to take out those shovels and get those driveways all cleared off. That's it for the weather. Now back to Danielle and Alex.
Thanks, Molly. As the temperatures drop, the weather turns icy, driving turns to dangerous. Is your car prepared to hit the road this winter? Experts say 70% of cars are not prepared for winter. Even cars equipped with all-season driving might need maintenance for extreme weather. Car experts recommend checking the battery, keeping your gas tank at least half full, and changing your oil according to the owner's manual. It is also recommended to carry a winter prep kit while in case of emergency. And as always, make sure to pay attention to the current weather conditions and practice safe driving measures.
Iowa's favorite